Okay, welcome back everyone to number 68 in the series of production line developer blog video things. I'm Cliff. I am the coder and designer of the game. It's a game where you build a car factory, but you probably know all this if you've been watching the other 67 videos. Hopefully I have a better green screen working, which kind of like screwed up last week. You could like see outside into like subspace or whatever. As a result, I actually have green screen and not blue screen, which is why I suddenly have a blue hat as opposed to a yellow hat. I was talking about this to someone, and you know, apparently yellow hats in construction are actually quite rare. We kind of assume that that all hats like this are always yellow, but they're not. I don't know. So I don't know where we get this myth that they're all yellow. Anyway, I thought I'd go with blue. Right, so what has happened in the game in the last week? Well, we released a new update to the game, and it includes defects. So I'm just going to run through how it actually works, and then talk a little bit about what we hope to kind of like improve on and change. So whenever a car has any work done to it at all, there is a chance that it gets a defect. Now if I zoom out here, here we have two cars with defects. If I click on one, I can go to defects and see what the problem is. It has a problem where the rear arch was fitted to the car, and it has a severity of 136. That will go up over time. Here's one with bumpers. That severity will get worse and worse and worse. It will get harder and harder to fix the more components we add to the car until we fix it. Now, the interesting thing is that loads of these cars will have defects, loads of them, because that's just car manufacturing. But they're hidden, they're invisible until we go through a visual inspection thing. Now I've put one down here, and look, defects suddenly appeared. Now I've got a little extra thing here, a smart junction in defect mode that sends cars with defects left. So that's why that car came down this route. That car will go this route because there's no defects. So it goes down here to a rework slot, and the rework slot fixes the defects. Or does it? You'll notice that that one didn't get fixed. Now it only fixes a certain percentage of the defects. I think at the moment it's 80%. So I'll have to check that, and it's not in the user interface yet, and I will put it into the user interface. But basically the visual inspection is spotting 80% of the problems, and then the rework thing is fixing 80% of the visible problems. It can only fix problems that it knows about that someone has spotted. So actually some defects are still not being fixed. So we've still got this car going along here that still has this defect, and now fit bottom trim severity 127. Eventually that will get higher and higher, which is how we've managed to get here, look, with cars with defects. Now it doesn't really matter, because if you follow the way the cars go, and they go all around the houses, and until they either come out here, I've got quite a big factory here, until they either come here and then they can go into another rework, or they'll go all the way along this route, go through another visual inspection, another smart junction, and another rework. So it should be really rare that anything actually gets sold with a defect, because I've put down 3 visual inspections throughout my factory and 3 opportunities to rework defects. However, it is still possible. Now if I go here, you can see if I mouse over these that none of them have a thing saying that they've got defects, but it can happen. And to make sure it happens, as a little test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hack that there. So now we go through a visual inspection, but we're not doing anything else. Now if I zoom ahead, hopefully we'll get a car with a defect coming in. Here's one. And I'll tell you what else I'll do. I'll get rid of that. So it has to go through there. So I'll go through the visual inspection. We know it's got a defect anyway. Probably hard to fix now, 255, so that will take me longer to fix. So it's going through performance check, emissions check, but it will actually go on sale. Because we've kind of, imagine we've kind of skimped on things slightly. So we're going to get a car that goes on sale with defects any second now. Talk amongst yourselves. Did that happen? There it is. Right, pause. So look, you get a little icon on this. This is something that I've added. I don't think it's in the current build, but it'll be in the next build. So that's got one defect and a little warning icon. There's nothing you can do at this point. This defect could be really sort of like buried in the car. Maybe we need to have some kind of researchable thing where you kind of scrap the car at this point. I don't know. Anyway, someone will come along and buy that car at some point, and when they do, that will feed into the statistics that show what people think of your cars. Now at the moment the perceived quality of our cars is 95.41%, which is very good. I think it can actually go up to 110%. I can't remember where effectively you're getting a you're getting like a bonus. It's kind of like the Rolls-Royce effect or whatever, where people think your cars are outstanding and they're prepared to pay extra for the fact that they know nothing's wrong. Look, another one. 95.41. So like each hour this gets recalculated, and it gets calculated over a period of hours. I think it's 3 hours. So if you improve all of the QA in your factory, by which I mean putting down more visual inspections and more rework, stuff like that, it will take a while for the marketplace to adjust to that. And that's intentional, because when cars get a reputation, it lingers for a long time. I don't think Volkswagen are going to get over their Dieselgate thing for a very long time. And when I was a kid, Skoda cars had this reputation of being incredibly cheap, silly plastic things, and it took them a very long time to get over that. Arguably, maybe they haven't got over that. So it takes a long time. Now, we're only doing it in hours rather than decades, because it's a game, and this is, you know, that's the way things work. You can have multiple defects, by the way. There you go, fit lights and fit wheels. So this is kind of like the early stages of putting this stuff in. So we have defects on cars. We have the visual inspection, which you can now put anywhere. You have to have a visual inspection somewhere, but you can put extra ones down. So you have to have one before you go into the performance check, but you can now put multiple ones down. So that there's rework, there's visual inspections, there's defects, and then there's that impact that you can see on car sales here. Oh, perceived quality's down. So people are going to be prepared to pay less for our cars. Our cars will start piling up over time. You can also see this value here, perceived quality, is here under the marketing screen. I've added some tooltips to some of this stuff to explain it a bit better, because it occurred to me that I knew what this stuff meant, but not everybody did. So I've added some tooltips there. So that is the big thing that we put in the last week, is defects, and that went in with build 1.49, which is the current build. Look at all these defects if I don't bother fixing them. Oh, my poor save game. So we're going to be doing more stuff on that. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is improving the user interface for this, so that you have like tutorial pop-ups for when you first place down a visual inspection that explains what it does, and others for when you first place down rework, or when you first have a car that is sold with a defect despite what you've done. I need to explain all that to the player. Also, I think we should expand on this, because I quite like this. If we come down here into research, you'll find we added one new research thing, which is rework. But those values of 0.8, I think they're 0.8, I'll put them in the game at some point. Those values, I think we could do a lot with that. We could have, for example, a researchable upgrade for better visual inspections. Thorough checklists or something would kind of be cool, where you add extra people with clipboards, because I think there's this load of people. Yeah, you see these people, and there's someone there with a clipboard, and someone just standing, another person. I reckon we could have another 2 clipboard people, just to make absolutely sure that we find the defects. And the same with rework. I think maybe we could have like a faster rework section, or a more thorough rework section, and maybe add some computer consoles or something. So 2 more things to research. And of course, in the long run, maybe there should be factory-wide stuff that we can research and upgrade, so that there are less defects in the first place. Maybe that should be a thing. I don't know whether that would be too cumbersome. Is that something that we really want to do? I want to hear your comments on this. I want to know what you think of the whole quality thing and how it's in at the moment. something else that I'm tempted to work on would be in marketing. So at the moment, the only marketing we do is brand awareness. So basically, all of your advertising campaigns, whether or not they're movies or print or TV, are basically just saying, we make cars! And that's it. So it's basically saying, come to the showroom, we've got cars, come, we've got cars. Which is a pretty basic stuff, right? So why can't we also have, for example, a marketing campaign that says, our cars are high quality? Even if they're not. I mean, I've never bought a Rolls Royce, believe it or not, despite what you might read. So I have no idea whether or not they're actually really high quality and reliable. That's just marketing. I have no idea. Everybody says that Volvos are really safe, so I assume they're really safe. But that's marketing. I've got no idea. There's all this Audi stuff about being really well engineered, Technique and all that. I don't know if that's just marketing. I have no idea what cars, if I haven't owned one, which ones are reliable and which ones aren't. So maybe we should have a sort of quality campaign that just boosts the price, or maybe what would be better is if it boosts the actual perceived quality. That would be good, because then you'd have to balance it. If you had really high quality cars, you wouldn't want to run that campaign. If you had really low quality cars, you could quickly run a campaign which would be quicker and involve less re-engineering of the factory than actually fixing the problem. Maybe we should do that. I don't know. These are just ideas, and I want to know what you think. What else is coming up? I'm sure I've got other stuff. I'm going to try and improve like tutorial stuff. I know people want a way of deleting large areas of the factory. Like I've got an area up here that took me forever to clear it and re-engineer stuff. Because at the moment you can like hold down the right mouse button like this. You can hold down Shift to bypass that. Is it Shift? Control. If you want to delete stuff really quickly, hold down Control and right click. That does that. We've also got the Demolish tool that kind of does this. One click. Same thing really. But we don't have Area Delete. I want to put that in because I know it annoys some people who have massive factories. So that's on my list to do. Some better error reporting for me is going to be going in as well. Next week could be the most amazing week ever because I may have a new intro for these videos. Ooh, how exciting. Almost looking professional. Even saying I look professional just instantly makes me lose it. So we may have that. I may have fibre to the premises next week. I know it's going to go wrong. I know it. You know, I'm relying on the British internet installers. It's bound to go wrong, right? But if it doesn't, I'll go from having 10 meg down and 1 meg up, which is what I have now, because I live in a field, to 220 down and 20 up. Which will be amazing. So I'll have like stupidly high quality, not compressed 1080p at a minimum videos from then on, maybe, if it works. I don't know. Bizarrely, it's costing about the same as my current connection. Ridiculous. Right, if you like the game, please review it on Steam. It's really important. Please, I'm literally begging. Review it on Steam, give it a good review. Because, yeah, look, it's a big, huge, sprawling thing and it's still in early access, so just imagine how more awesome it'll be soon. And if you subscribe to this channel, that is something that apparently YouTube personalities ask you to do. And stuff like that, or just like buy loads of copies of the game and send me money, I don't know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.